Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're calling in from. This is Nancy Anderberg, and this is our Wealth Building Focus Group call, week number 3. So you can view week 1 and week 2 on my YouTube channel, and you can get there by going to nancyanderbergtv.com. That URL will take you directly to the YouTube channel, and just look in the titles, Wealth Building Week 1, Wealth Building Week 2. So this is week 3. And I'm going to mute this phone here. Last week, your assignment was to make sure that you had your accountability partner and to check in with them every night to let them know if you reached your goal. And just to check in with them. That's your support system. That's your accountability partner. That's the person that you can call and say, hey, this is what's working for me. This is what I'm kind of struggling with. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What are you using? What video are you sending? What is your opening question or comment? Those types of things, okay? Now, today, towards the end, I'm going to open it up, and we're going to talk about those things. And so we're going to share ideas, and we're going to share, different hiccups. We're going to share successes, all of those things that will help us grow as a team, all right? So last week, you were also supposed to get this book, The Go-Giver, and it's best to sit down and read it in one sitting. It's a quick read. You can probably, buzz through it in an hour. But there's a secret in this book, and I bet all of you know this secret because we are attracting like-minded people, and I believe this with all of my heart, that true success comes from giving and by being a servant-led leader, having a servant's heart. And so that's why I've opened these calls. The company asked me to open these calls to the whole company to just serve and to share struggles, share successes, all that stuff. You'll find one thing about me is I like to share my struggles because hopefully it will help you get through that learning curve faster than it did me, right? So this is about being authentic, and my hashtag that I love to use on everything is blessed. So anytime I see a t-shirt or anything that has blessed on it, I buy it. I love it. Of course, unless it's not like, super expensive. Of course, I'm like the bargain queen. My favorite stores are TJ Maxx, Home Goods. Love that, love that. Even when I was making millions of dollars, I'm a bargain girl. Because, the more you can save, the more you can give, right? That's always been my philosophy. So The Go-Giver really, really, really hit my heart when that came out several years ago. I read it. I've read it a couple times since then because I believe that you guys, one of the greatest gifts you can give someone, in my opinion, is a good book where they can grow and learn and, share that experience with you because you've probably read it too. You're not going to give someone a book you probably haven't read, right? So it's about sharing that experience. I'm at a stage in my life now in my early 50s. My birthday's Friday. I always tell everyone, I told you this, when my birthday is, because then you're never disappointed, right? And I love celebrating my birthday. I love celebrating birthdays in general. I feel badly when people don't tell me it's their birthday and I miss it, because life is a celebration. We are so blessed to be here. It really is a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege to be a part of capitalism. And I believe with all my heart that network marketing is the greatest opportunity in the history of capitalism. We are here and we are privileged to be a part of this opportunity where we have the choice to make this anything you want it to be. This is your chance right now to design your life, to take back control, even though real control is kind of fictionary, right? But to feel like we have control and to make choices. That's really what I mean. It's not even about control. It's about having the ability to make choices, to discipline yourself so that change can happen in your life. As Jim Rohn says, we're not a tree. If you don't like where you're at, get up and move, right? Okay, so I'm excited. I've gone through a lot of changes in the last few years, a lot, like so much, literally. I mean, if I really spend much time looking at it, it makes my head spin. But the past is the past. We learn from it. We embrace the present, and really our future is something that we can reach toward and set goals again to design the life that we desire. I believe that God puts certain desires in our heart. They're there for a reason, and it's about attaining our purpose or working it out in our purpose. A lot of people don't know what their purpose is. And so what I always tell people is, what gets you fired up? What makes you laugh? What makes you cry? What gets you out of bed? Those are desires in you that were deposited in you probably before you were even born. And they start to come out and grow as you explore life and as you experience, life. And that means the ups and the downs, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, all of that. One thing I do know about myself, I was not placed on this earth to live a life of mediocrity. I love to learn. I love to get better. We never arrive. I believe we never arrive, but we have the choice to continue to grow and become more. In order to be better, we have to put in the time it takes to grow personally and to do better, right? So that's what this call is about. This is, again, week 3, wealth building, those of you that are hopping on a little late. So how many of you, here's my first question to you. If you have your accountability partner, I would like you in the chat, and that's where that little bubble is at the bottom, or if you're on your phone, it's at the bottom as well. I would like you to put a number 1 in the chat, and I'm going to look over here. Ann says, happy birthday, Nancy. Thank you. So do you have an accountability partner? I want you to, in the messages, just throw in a number 1 if you have an accountability partner, okay? All right. And if you have that accountability partner, did you at least text them each night before you went to bed? Did you text them? Did you reach your goal for that day? Did you talk to the number of people that you committed to? It's either 1, 3, 5, or somewhere in between, of presenting your product, presenting our opportunity, and really presenting hope, right, and vision for people to want and dream and have more in life, whatever that is, whatever more is to you or more is to them. If you did that, okay, so far I just see 1. So only 1 of you really has an accountability partner. Okay, no. Oh, Jennifer's on again. Jennifer, girlfriend, you just can't get enough of me. No. I love it. So Jen actually jumps on our Tuesday night wealth building call too. They're all a little different, but kind of the same topics. Okay, so Ann says yes, she has her accountability partner. No, she didn't check in with them each day. Okay, so thank you for being real. Thank you for being honest, you guys. That's what this call is all about. I have my accountability partner, and I check in every day. And I let them know every day where I'm at, what I've done. I check in, okay? And the thing is, when it comes to letting them know you've done, remember, it's the things that really are building your business, okay? It's prospecting is good. That's part of building your business. But income producing activity is when you're talking to people. Do I sound like a broken record? Talking to people. So this, yes, I'm talking to people, but this is coaching. This is different. This doesn't count towards your income producing activity, right? So, okay, a couple of you guys. So 3 of you have an accountability partner. That means that, okay, so that means the rest of you don't have one yet. Well, right here, partner up, you guys. Type in your email or type in your phone number and partner up. So this is about taking self-responsibility, but we all need accountability. Even if you're super disciplined and you're super driven, we need accountability for a couple of reasons. I'll tell you one thing that for me, over the years, I've always been placed in a position of leadership, or if I'm not, I usually step into it, But I've always been taught, that in order to get things done, you have to be willing to step up and take the role. Now, last night, some of you were on the debacle call, and I have this old crappy PC, right? I need to get a new one. It's something that I have procrastinated about. And I do that because I don't know a lot about computers. I don't even know how to set one up, take one down. So then I don't want to go buy a new one because I'm like, ugh, right? So that's something you need to hold me accountable to. I need to get a new computer because last night, basically, sucked. I was so bummed out. So I'm doing the opportunity call, the opportunity Zoom. We have like 100 and some people on, and my computer completely dies, shuts down. So I'm thinking, who do I know that no matter what, I can text this person and I know she's going to step up and I know she's going to be on point and I know she's going to do what I need her to do in a way that I think that my opinion is a good way to do it. I had that person always in my back pocket, and thanks to Dale Jones is how I met her. And I texted her, I said, Shay Lisa, I saw she was on, I said, I need you to step in and finish out the call because my computer shut down. I'm trying to boot it back up. And she did, she stepped up, right? So when given the opportunity to step up, all of you will have that at some point. Do it. Don't run, don't turn your back and say, oh, I can't. Don't let fear ever stop you, step up. That is the one thing that I did early on in my career of relationship marketing. I don't know where that confidence came from, probably from my father, watching my father be a successful entrepreneur, and he owned the sale barn. I don't know if you guys know what a sale barn is, but I grew up in South Dakota on a ranch. My dad owned the auction barn, the sale barn, and it's this, big fancy barn, really. And in the front, we had a Western store, and I sold cowboy boots and hats. I did that from really, really young. And you walk in, and there's like, the lobby, and then you go in, and then it's called the ring. And then there's this big ring with like a pen. And my dad would be up on the stage with the microphone, and he was an auctioneer. You guys know what an auctioneer is? Everyone knows that. Okay, like, Betty bought some butter, bitches, butter. Okay, you get it, Dale's laughing at me. You're laughing with me, not at me, right? Okay, so yes. So my father was an auctioneer, and the guys would bring in the cattle and he would auction off the cattle. So the highlight of my week, no joke, this is weird, but I'm just being real with you, was on Wednesdays was sale day. And after school, I would go to the sale barn. I'd walk home 10 miles in the snow. No, just kidding. I'd walk home about 1.5 miles, and I'd get to the sale barn. I'd go in and I'd enter the ring, and there was my dad. My dad was he's still alive. He's 83 now, just turned 83. I've never ever seen him. He wears rivet Wranglers, cowboy boots, and a big old 10th grade beaver hat. He's like 5'9", 5'10", but looks 6'6", that kind of guy. Good looking guy, charisma like you would never believe. And I'd walk in there, and he'd be up on the stage, auctioneering the cattle, and he'd see me and he'd go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's my little girl, Nancy. And he would like highlight me. And it would, in the beginning, it would embarrass the crap out of me because, believe it or not, I was somewhat shy. Well, then I started to kind of like that attention as I got older, and I would look forward to it. And so, everything happens for a reason. And I think because being put on the spot so many times growing up, where I would have to even when, maybe I'm getting home from school and I wanted to cry because I was bullied that day or whatever it might be, or there was a girl that, or I had a fight with my boyfriend, I still had to smile because he'd put me in the spotlight and smile, and there'd be hundreds of people around, and I'd be like, smile, hi, hi, Nancy, kind of thing. So he put me in that spot. So I thank him for that today because I think it's helped me be on when I have to be on, because honestly, there are times, I've shared this with you, when I'm not feeling great, or, maybe I'm stressed out, or maybe something has happened. And of course, I'm choosing that because we can choose to receive whatever we want to receive, right? But I've been able to turn the channel or flick the switch. Maybe it is in my meridian system. I don't know, to be on when I have to be on. And so, the reason I'm sharing this story is that it's something that I chose to do. I kind of felt like I had to do, but now I choose to do it. And so you can choose to be on or not. You can choose to walk out of your door and be in business or not. You can choose to pick up that phone and call the people you need to call to talk to about this business, about your product, or not. Everything is a choice. Now, do you know anyone that has just victim mentality. Every time you call them, it's something like, oh my gosh, this happened, and this and that, and oh, and my mom is sick, my cat is sick, my I'm stressed out, I had to do this, I have to do that. They'll give you every excuse in the world. Or it might be an excuse like this: oh, it was a beautiful day today, it was so beautiful, and I have this new convertible, and so I decided not to work today. I got in my car because it was beautiful, and I just didn't work today. I didn't make my calls. So here's my point: excuses are just excuses, right? Everybody has them. They can be good excuses, they can be bad excuses, but whatever the excuse is that we use to explain why we didn't do whatever we needed to do to advance our business is just that. It's just an excuse. So it's about disciplining yourself, making the right choices. Excuse me, I need to get a drink here. Like this is my Smarty Pants mug. I love coffee mugs. I have so many weird different ones. My kids buy them for me all the time. I love it. And so that's the whole point, is you guys can decide. You can decide. I had Dr. Al on last night, and I talked to him. He's not in my downline or in my team. He's on another team, Dr. Joe. We all work together. Dr. Joe gave me his number, or he actually gave him my number. Dr. Al calls me. He's like, hey, Nancy, I heard you need help with something. Like, how cool is that, right? This is what we do. This is the type of environment and culture we're creating. And I said, you know what? I have someone, you have the same type of personality, and I'm wondering, could you do a three-way call? This is for one of my actually, for Shaylisa Dale. She has someone, and I think he would match up well with him. He said, absolutely, I'd do that. And he goes, here I am, Dr. Al's a chiropractor. And he goes, I work really hard. I'm still trading dollars for hours. And, I put away money, of course, but, eventually I want to retire. And so network marketing is such a wonderful, wonderful tool, because I'm, especially in this wellness industry, and especially in front of this energy trend, right? We're in front of it, which is important. He said, I really feel like I am a top executive in Aegea. And he goes, I know you feel that way too. He goes, I feel like I almost have like ownership in it. And I said, yeah, so do I. So his mindset is in the right place. And he said, I feel like I have this opportunity that, listen, the East Coast is my region and I'm going to dominate. And I'm like, man, I like your attitude. Whatever that region is to you, are you going to dominate? Are you going to choose that position of strength? Or are you going to think, oh, I've got this little home-based business and I might have time a few minutes a day to work on it. And I might, sign a few people up and throw them up against the wall, hope they stick. Is that how you're treating your business? Or are you treating it the way you should, that, listen, this is a part-time business, but is serious. And I'm going to take whatever it is, 1, 2, 10, 40, 80 hours, whatever it is, per day or per week. And I'm going to treat this like a serious business, like I am a top executive in this company and I have ownership. And I have the opportunity to write my paycheck, because that's what you have here. I'm very fascinated when I talk to people and, they have an opinion of networking, opinion of network marketing. I've talked to a lot of people. And they say, how have you done it? How have you made the kind of money you've made over the years? And companies close on you and, all this stuff, but you're still in it, man. How do you do that? I'm like, this is the greatest opportunity in the world, where I can have my own company, and, it costs a few $100, right? Now, I owned a network marketing company before. I was the president, founder, product creator. $2 million to start that company. Ended up losing it because all of our other money was invested in real estate. And it was during the time when that bubble happened, right? And our company was going through the roof without any professional network marketers. No joke. It was just my family, my church. Month 2, 200,000 in business. Month 2, can you believe that? I know, it's crazy. I was ahead of my time there. But But so as it's growing, you got to keep up with the growth. So you have to keep injecting money, right? So even the 2 million in the beginning wasn't enough. You had to keep injecting money. Well, if all the money is invested in real estate and that none of that is, you can't liquidate it, what do? You know, you're SOL, man, right? Unless you bring out an investor, and that's hard times. And anyway, my whole point is you have the opportunity to run with this company. You have the opportunity to believe and receive that this is your own, that you have ownership, that you're a top executive, and you can design, you know, how much you want of the marketplace. I mean, it's a multi-trillion dollar market. It is. So, you know, what do you want to do with it? And again, that's why it has to come down to these little tiny disciplines that seem to be small and insignificant, but they're very, very significant, because to much is given, much is expected. And if we can't be trusted and handle the little things, how are we going to handle much, right? To much is given, much is expected. And so there's this little proverb some of you may know, and it says, give and you shall receive. So give yourself permission, first of all, to believe that you can do great things here. Give yourself permission to discipline yourself, okay? And then become that go-giver, where you are there to serve the people that you're bringing in. You're there to serve and teach them, but never ever stop working on new business, because it is the lifeblood of your business. It's the lifeblood. When you go into your back office, in the dashboard, there's 4 blue boxes at the top, and in the very first one, there's a number, and it'll say how many people you personally enrolled. Okay, my number is, I think, 55. Okay, and I didn't really start building till the end of June. Okay, so that's June, July, August, September, October, November, and now we're in December. Okay, so the end of June. So let's say July, August, September, October, November, and we're just starting December. So let's say 6 months. So about 55 people. In the next box is how many people you have enrolled or sponsored in the last 30 days. I never ever want to have that number drop below 10. Even though I've enrolled that many people, are all of them doing something? I can tell you, out of that number of people, there are a handful of people that are out there really, really working this. And they're all part-time except one, okay? And I can tell you there's over 5,000 people in my organization. So what does that tell you? Would you rather have 100% of your own efforts, 55? Or 1% of 100 people or 5,000 people, okay? Some of them will not do a thing. The average person will share this and actually bring into the business only 2.6 people, okay? That's what the average is in our industry of relationship marketing. So my point is, even though I mean, I totally believe, and you know from my coaching style, is you go in and you work deep, you work deep, you work deep. You work and you run with the runners, you walk with the walkers, but you do not sit with the sitters. You're constantly bringing in new, fresh blood, because it's the lifeblood. It does a couple things for you. It builds your business. It keeps you active and sharp, so you know you're on top of it. You know what you're doing. You're using the system. You're out there talking to new people. Now you're still doing 3-way calls. You're still doing Zooms. You're still helping with the team, but you're also still building new. It's a bit of a balance. And I usually do like 2-week runs personally. Now, those of you that don't have a big team yet, which most of you, but they're actually, Ann, you've got a really large team. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a bit of a balance. Some of us will get lazy and sit back and put our feet up on our desk and go into management mode. You never want to do that. You never want to do that, because people will do what you do. Now, a couple years down the road here, can you go into management mode? If you have developed self-sustaining leaders. But the only way you can develop self-sustaining leaders, I believe, is by putting in 2 years of intense work, depending on where your goal is. Now, I said intense. Do I work many hours a day? Many, I do. But here's the thing, as long as I have my phone, I can work from anywhere. So a lot of you do calls with me. I'm in the car, I'm driving my kids, I'm doing dishes, I'm doing laundry, I'm still doing my life as a single mom, but I'm working because I know I have to be disciplined now in order to have the life I desire later. What gives me the authority to teach this? Because I've done it a couple times. I've rebuilt my life 3 times. This is the last time. What happened in the process? Nance, why? Why did you have to rebuild 3 times? Well, went through divorce. I had a bunch of stuff stolen from me. And there are a couple companies that just basically closed up. They were done, right? And when Aegea came along, I was done. I was developing my entire online system for fitness to be that, hashtag middle-aged fitness guru and getting everything out there on the internet. So that's where I was going with all of that when this came along. I put all that on hold because of the vision and what we have here. I really believe with all my heart, this is the missing link to people's health. And from my product testimony to helping people and to seeing dedicated people on this product, people are dedicated because the products work. And so that's why I'm here. So with all that said, it all comes back to you. We have the same products, we have the same opportunity. It's all about you, it's all about us. What are we going to do with it? Okay? So we can't design our future until we've redesigned our habits. So your assignment this week is to look at your habits. What habits do you have that are not serving you, your family, and your business? That they're just not the best habits, okay? And how are you going to get rid of those habits and implement new, fresh, great habits that help you build a life that you desire, that you design, where you can write your paycheck, okay? So think about it. Think about how you're spending, your day. We have to live on purpose and don't let the day just pass you by. I'm constantly self-evaluating. I'm harder on myself than anybody, but it's not in a negative way. It's in a analytical way. Okay. At the end of each day, I go, okay, what did I accomplish today? Who did I help? Who did I talk to? Did I talk to new prospects? How many? And how many 3-way calls or Zooms did I do today? So, because numbers don't lie. It's the measuring stick. It's the only way we can really see or measure where we're going and what we're trying to accomplish, right? Now, in this season of December, there's a lot of distractions. Remember, they can be good distractions, they can be bad distractions, but they're all distractions and they will stop us from getting to our goal. So one thing I've always been really good at, and my children even say to me, Mom, you gotta get a life. In 3.5 years, you are gonna be an empty nester and we don't want you to be alone. You gotta start dating. I'm like, I don't have time to date. It's not a priority right now. I'm good. It's just one of those things that you have to decide, what do you have time for and what you don't? What is a priority and what isn't? So my priority right now is I don't ever want to have another Goodwill Christmas. Now, it's been a while since I've had a Goodwill Christmas, and I explained it on the call last night. How does that work, where you can be, have this briefcase of skills and know how to develop and create companies and build companies and do all that? How does one go from making millions of dollars to having, to being in the toilet having a Goodwill Christmas? Life happens to all of us. It will take a chunk out, it'll chew you up and spit you out, right? So you always have to be prepared for that. And the thing is that a lot of times it just happens. It's not like you even necessarily attract it, but maybe there's something in our lives that we have to learn to prepare us for something bigger and better that's coming along, right? So when I look back at my life and what happened with me, you know, 10 years ago, and then again a couple years ago, I thank God every day, because I would not be in a place that I am right now, being able to lead the numbers that I'm leading. And I say that so humbly. And I know, Ann, I know you can relate with me because we've talked a little bit about this, but humility comes from being broken. So if you haven't been broken yet, look out. If you're, it's going to happen in life at some point. And it's just a matter of what do you do with it, right? So what do you do with it? Do you lay there shattered in pieces? Or, you know, do you with one finger grab a broomstick and the other finger, you know, grab a dustpan, and do you sweep yourself up together and put it back together as best you can and move forward? Is that what you do? That's what I did, right? And I didn't feel like it, and it was not easy, right? But that's what I've had to do. Why? Because of my why, my children. That's why. No child support, no help raising them. That's it. Had to do it, right? I love my kids. It's about saving the baby. We talked about that last week. The baby falls overboard, you're going to save the baby, right? I want you to think about your baby as your life. It's your dreams. Are you going to let that baby sink to the bottom of the lake? No, you're not. That's why you're on this call, okay? That's why it shouldn't matter if there's an email that goes out or a Facebook post to remind you. You should already have it programmed in your phone. An alarm goes off that you know when your wealth building coaching call is. Because guys, this type of coaching, I charge 120 bucks an hour for, which isn't very much, but big companies pay people with experience like mine thousands and thousands of dollars to come in and teach and train their sales team. And this is free. This is what we do. This is what we get in network marketing. It's super, super valuable. I hope, and I don't say that in a haughty way at all. I say it in a very humble way, that, you know, this stuff is valuable stuff, and it's to teach you and to empower you to say, man, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's just what this is all about. And so habits, what are we going to change? The New Year's coming. It's a busy time right now. We've got holiday parties and you know, just all the stuff. I get it. You want to have fun and do that, which you need to. You need to have a life, and you need to, but it is about balance. Just like on Sundays, you know, I try to totally unplug on Sundays. That's my one day. But the other days, it's, you know, it's intense. But it's short-term sacrifices for long-term rewards, right? That's what it's about. So maybe you need to get up a little bit earlier. Maybe you need to stay up a little bit later. Maybe you need to start eating better so that you have more energy and you feel better. Maybe you need to get sugar out of your diet, because sugar causes all sorts of havoc in your body, makes everything in your body break down faster. Maybe you need to get rid of the sugar. Maybe you need to get rid of all the artificial garbage, all right? Because you're going to start feeling better, and your attitude will change, and you'll have more energy, and you'll want to like start moving. I'm telling you, if let me just say, if you would just get up 15 minutes early, and let's say you don't belong to a gym or anything, just go buy one of those rebounders, those little tiny, you know, rebounders that you can run or jump on. And if you would just do that 15 minutes in the morning, get up 15 minutes, just do that, it'll change your life. You'd be amazed. Do that 5 times a week. So start with little small disciplines in your life. If you can discipline yourself with the small things, you can discipline yourself with the large things. But if you can't discipline yourself with the little things, the big things are going to be very, very difficult. So I want you to write down 3 things that you're going to take charge of. You're going to discipline yourself, all right? And you're going to change to make your life better. And it can be with your health. It can be with time. It can be with maybe a habit. Maybe you're a smoker, or, you know, maybe you're watching television, you know, whatever it is. I want you to just make a decision to make some changes. And if you can do that, you're going to feel so great about yourself. You can do anything. It's just mind over matter and keeping your mindset straight. Okay. So we cannot design our future until we've redesigned our habits. All right. You are in control. Don't be a victim of your thoughts. Okay. Thoughts, they run around our heads, and pretty soon they start to become words, and then the words start to become actions. All right, what are you thinking about? What are you talking about? How are you starting to act? Okay, are you gossiping? That's a killer. I'd stop. All right, why are you gossiping? Things are running around your head. All right, are you being unfaithful in some way to yourself, to a partner, to a friend? Stop it. Take control of your thoughts. Okay, take charge of your life. You are responsible. No one else is responsible for you. I've had people say, yeah, but you don't know how the way I grew up. Man, I had a hard childhood. Guess what? So did I. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, right? So excuses are like belly buttons. I could say something else. Everybody has one, right? So let's just not even go there. Let's focus on the daily activity that's going to help you build a life that you desire and that you deserve. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. It's really hard when you're struggling financially. It makes a person a little bit crazy. I know. I've been there. You know, I was talking about that Goodwill Christmas. I went to Goodwill one year. This was about 10 years ago. You know, single mom, 4 kids, trying to hold on to my 7,000 square foot house only because I had no money to move. What was I going to do? I couldn't pay the heat bill. Dale, you were at that house right after my husband had ran off. My heat bill was $700 a month, and it's Christmas time, and I'm going, what am I going to do? These 4 kiddos are my life. What am I going to do? Well, I went to Goodwill. First of all, I listed a bunch of stuff on Craigslist. I sold TVs, I sold clothes, I sold purses and shoes. I sold whatever I could sell to pay my bills. So I had enough money I could scrape together to buy my kids gifts. And I went to Goodwill to buy their gifts. And when I went there, I almost cried when I think about this. I went there and I saw this ornament. And I thought, I'm going to buy this ornament. And I'm a little crafty too. I don't know if you know that. I love to do crafts. I don't take a lot of time for it right now, but I love to do stuff like that. I love to paint furniture and do all that. So I bought this ornament, and it's the snowman. I got to pull it out, find it, and show it to you. And I wrote my kids' names. I wrote my name, and then on the head, and then I wrote Janie, Jack, Jace, Kylie. And on the back, I wrote Goodwill Christmas, with joy, with peace, full of love. I wrote all these things on this ornament, and I hung it on the tree. And it was almost like a ceremony to my kids. And I said, kids, I know that this is a hard time, because my kids have been, I would say, spoiled but not rotten. Okay, they've always had everything they wanted, right? And I said, this is a different Christmas for you, and this is going to be harder, but this is going to help us all build character. But this can be our last Goodwill Christmas. Okay, it's our first and our last. And we hung that on the tree, and it was a Charlie Brown looking tree, literally. And I bought gifts at Goodwill. And we were talking about this the other day. My little girl said, I love that stuffed bear you got me. I still have it. That's like my favorite stuffed animal. She's 14 now, right? And at the time, you know, she was little. She was 4, 5, almost 5. And she said, that's my favorite. And I said, honey, do you know what? That little bear cost mommy 50 cents. Okay. And so why do I share this? There are a lot of people out there that are struggling this time of year. We have an opportunity that they can have a multi-million-dollar business if they so desire for 99 bucks. But most people don't have the vision or the drive or the discipline to do what it takes to get out of their situation. They're stuck being a victim of their circumstances. How do we help them? Well, I tell you what, I used to be codependent, which means I thought I could save everyone. I didn't understand what codependency was. Codependency is like, it's not like, you know, a horrible thing. It's not like, oh, you need people. It's like, no, you need to help people and help them, you know, get out of their circumstances. And then you become this enabler, and it's like, oh, it's just, it doesn't work. Really doesn't work with husbands. Okay. So it doesn't work with anybody. But so we can't do that. But what we can do is we can give them the tools. We can point, guide, and direct them to calls like this. We can direct them to get on our products, because it is life-changing. It has that shift of helping people get away from their trauma, to unlock that trauma so that they can start to live and dream and grow again. Most people haven't been dreaming since they were little girls and boys, right? So when they were little, they wanted to be a fireman, they wanted to be Miss America, all that, whatever it is, right? And they have become so beat up by life and shut down. And even if you're super successful and you have money, you still become beat up because then you have no time. So what do we do with this? What do we do in this lifetime? Well, we become a go-giver. We give to people and we point, guide, direct them in the right direction. We can't drag them, right? But we can lead. And if people want to follow, praise God. If they don't, praise God. We can't make them, but we can inspire and we can, love people, and hopefully they'll come alongside you and walk with you or run with you, whatever it is. But if they don't, that's okay. You just love them. You just need to do what you need to do to design your life, lead with love, lead as a giver, and that's all you can do, right? That's all you can do. That's all we can do with our kids. That's all we can do with our friends. That's all we can do in our business. And so here's your assignment. Actually, I wanted to read you something really quickly here. Where is that? I want to read you this quote by Jim Rohn. I had another book here I wanted to share with you. Where'd it go? I must have took it in the other room. With the right attitude, human beings can move mountains. With the wrong attitude, they can be crushed by the smallest grain of salt. Or I'm sorry, grain of sand. Sand or salt, right? Which smaller? What's smaller, salt or sand? Do you know? Depends, right? So anyway, what have you been allowing to crush you? Okay. Today, draw the line in the sand. Say no longer. I'm not going to allow rejection by people. I'm not going to allow anything in my life to stop me from reaching my goals. I'm going to go because I know I can, and I'm going to take responsibility for where I'm at, and I'm going to take responsibility for where I am not. And right here on December 5th is the day that is changing my life. And tomorrow, I'm going to get rid of these habits, these 3 bad habits, and I'm going to implement these 3 great habits. And I'm going to be a go-giver, and I'm going to continue to move forward. I'm going to text or call or whatever you're going to do with your accountability partner every single day. You're going to let them know that you hit your goal, whatever it is, 1, 3, 5 people a day, a minimum of 5 days a week. Consistency, consistency, consistency. All right? So, you guys, I'm going to open up the call now. Wow, did I really just talk for 46 minutes? How did I do that? Okay, guys, let's talk. What's working for you? What isn't? How can I help you? So let me change the screen here. And Jennifer, was pretty much the same as last night, wasn't it?
Always better.
It's always better on Wednesday. See, I warm up on Tuesday nights. You guys have the secret.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I find that keep hearing you, it's very, very encouraging. So I'm putting it into my calendar now to make sure that I'm Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Thursday afternoon, Saturday morning, because that's what keeps me going. And now my day, I don't have to try and work from now till Saturday as my goal. Now my goal is from now till tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, 1 o'clock Eastern is when I do the team call. And that's quite different than this one. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But
yep.
Just the fact that by seeing your calls, that creates the deadline for me to do something.
Awesome. I love that.
Oh, and I got all 3.
Of course you do. I love it. I haven't read those other ones. I should get those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What are the other ones called?
Okay. You know this one.
Yep.
Okay. The second one, this one was not as much a bestseller. It's a totally different read. It's called Sell More.
Okay.
It's more of an instruction manual. It's a much tougher read than the first one.
Okay.
The first one's a beautiful story. I actually did a talk on it at one of my networking events once.
Awesome.
And the next one, this is the follow-up to the first one, also a terrific read.
Go Giver Leader. Oh, I got to get that one.
That's the newest one this year.
Okay. All right. I'll get that one. Awesome.
Okay,
Let's get that one, guys.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned a little while ago when you were talking about Anne that she's got a large team. What are you defining as a large team? And by the way, congratulations, Anne.
Well, she, you guys are gonna laugh because you were there, Jennifer, at our pre-launch in Atlanta. I said, all you have to do is get two, just two, one on the right and one on the left. So that's what Anne did, and she taught that. And they got one on the right and one on the left. And it just started to duplicate. She attracted some fantastic leaders and she built it. It started to duplicate and grow. And so, Anne, I don't even know, 2,000 people on your team now that it grew to, which is my team, right? It's our team. So, that's just what happens. Anne, are you there still? Is Anne on? Yeah. Anne, how many on your team now? She's muted out. Anyway, yep. And so some of you are just getting started. Guys, there's only 10,000 people in our company. I mean, we're just getting started. So, and it's not like you're doing all the work. Remember, you're teaching the proper actions, and it's just the duplication. Teaching two to get two to get two. That's basically it. Plugging into calls like this. That's what we do. So questions, comments? I see Lady Jane's on. Thank you for the note, Lady Jane. Oh, Anne says to me she had to mute for a minute. Okay. What do you define as a large team? Okay, that's what I see. I have a UK Zoom now, so I have to go. Okay, awesome. Ron had to go. We're building a big organization in the UK as well. What else? How can I help you? Questions, comments? Dale, Dale's got a big team growing as well.
Thank you. I'm doing well.
Shay Lisa took off running and put in some big leaders, and they're just running. I mean, you just never know, guys. That's what I'm saying. You never know what's going to happen. And Michaelin, you guys know Michaelin enrolled Dale. I enrolled Michaelin. So.
Yeah, she was persistent.
Yep.
And she just kept, and I said, no, not now. I'm not ready. I got to get through some surgery. I got to do this. I'm focused on my other business. But she just kept at it. And then she showed up 2 weeks after my surgery, and it was that's history. So, and like, I tried the patches and they worked for me, and I became a believer right away. I mean, but I'm an energy guy too. So I kind of understand. I've been working in the healing arts for many years, and it's just a perfect fit. So, I've committed to doing this pretty much full time. My other business is, a little on hold, and that's great because I've made more money this year with Aegea than I have with the other business all year. So the potential of what can happen when you have a leg that just takes off, and that's given me some hope, and I feel responsible for learning how to be, a really good leader and supporting everyone in my team any way I can. So I'm looking forward to the big convention and the official launch next year, and I will definitely be there. And I love this call, Nancy. Thank you so much for all the effort and time you're putting into this. Last week I stepped up my calling activity, and this week I have 4 scheduled face-to-face meetings. So,
awesome.
And I'm focusing on chiropractors and healthcare practitioners and people I don't even know. Those are the, I've been working my warm market but I'm finding that you get better results when you just put on your big pants and call people you don't know, and it's amazing how they respond. So
awesome. That's great.
Thank you.
So I appreciate that, Dale, and congratulations. I'm just super excited about your whole team. It's been a lot of fun. Jennifer, you had a question about a launch. So we were talking about doing like an official launch of the company in February. We are going to push that out now. We just have a lot of things that we're developing. As you know, the weight loss program and the I mean, I'm so excited about that, you guys. So our weight loss patches and the program to go with that. So we're going to push that launch out. You know, a lot of companies are usually in pre-launch, you know, usually kind of a couple years. And so we haven't even been in business a year yet. We went into beta mode in February. So we're still really, really young, and we're going to push that out. So there's no date, there's no official time on that, which is good. I was a huge advocate for that. So Christy, you have any questions? Or Renee, Lady Jane, Bob, anybody?
I have one more question.
Yeah.
So when someone comes in as an affiliate and they buy a sample pack and they get in your lead list there, are they going to